Movie magic tricks. As a magician, I love seeing magic tricks in movies, and it's also super fun when I see them well represented. So when Ant-Man came on the scene, that became not only a funny bit, but also some good representation of sleight of hand magic. It also kind of got continued through the different Ant-Man and other MCU sequels.
How'd you do it, Scott?
Do what?
The card trick.
Seriously?
In this video, you're going to learn exactly how to make a card seem to vanish and reappear in your empty hand. I think that's what's so cool about this illusion, is that your hand appears to be empty. So let's get right into it. What's up, fellow hobbyists?
Open sesame!
Michael here, and hey, this month we are covering some movie magic tricks, so be sure to check around for the other tutorials for those tricks that we'll be doing this month. We also have plenty of other tutorials already on the channel, both of killer classic effects and some original effects that you'll only see here. So I hope you go enjoy those and check them out. But today's trick, the Ant-Man trick, this is back palm, and we're gonna walk through all the steps of it. It's easy to understand, but I think difficult to master. Go ahead and get a deck of cards, or really just a single card in this situation, and you have everything you need to perform this. And speaking of Marvel, if you can make a Spider-Man motion, you are already on your way to being able to perform this. The achieved illusion is a card being waved seemingly into nothingness and then brought back. But of course, it's called back palm, so you can probably assume what we're doing here. So from the exposed angle, you're going to curl these two fingers inward so that your index finger and your pinky can curl around the card, kind of near the lower edge, or at least past halfway. And as they extend, you're gonna extend all your fingers and then squeeze in. And that is essentially back palm. So again, just curl in and then unfurl. Now, a few notes on this. One is that you do have some corners that might peek out just barely here. And you want to minimize that as much as possible, but it's okay if you can't completely get rid of it. And here's why. You're not going to be able to fully remove those corners. So what do you do about that? Is you add some movement. So this, in the world of card manipulation, is a whole thing. There's kind of an elegance to this genre of card magic. You're waving the card, getting into position, and as you execute the sleight of hand move, you're going to continue to wave, and then you can bring it back. Now, I think in some of the other movies and shows you see, I'm particularly thinking of, WandaVision, and there's a character who like approaches and is able to snatch the card up. That's a pretty cool way to do it. You would just have to be aware of the fact that you got to watch your angles on the approach. So if you're going to introduce yourself to someone that way, that would be pretty cool, but you just got to watch your angles. So that's the basic move, and if that's all you came for, that's great. But if you wanted to think of how to put this into the context of a full trick, that's the sort of thing I love to think about with simple sleight of hand moves, is how do we actually provide a full routine experience to our audience? As a magician, it's crucial to have the right tools and tricks with you so that you can perform at a moment's notice. So that's why I've created for you a list of over 25 essential tools, tricks, props that you should have in your toolkit as a magician. Make these part of your toolkit and your everyday carry as a magician, and you will level up your magic. I'm providing this resource as a free PDF for you. All you need to do is check the link in the description down below, and you'll be able to download that checklist of over 25 essential items I recommend every magician should have. So a way you could do that is by having a card selected, and then you're going to control it actually second to the top in this situation. Here's why. So you control it second to the top, and if you want to learn how to do the card control that I just did right here, you need to check out my tutorial for the Ed Marlowe tilt control. But you're going to control it second to the top. Now you can show that their card isn't on the top or on the bottom, and then you just throw this card down. So now you've loaded their card up top, ready to go. As you go to adjust the deck, you're going to hide getting into back palm from behind the deck, just like that. So from this angle, you're coming down and you're going to hide getting into back palm. From here, you can then seem to pluck the card out of the air by adding some motion and then grabbing it. So that's the basic mechanic of how to form this into a full routine, or at least part of a card selection routine in a close-up Magic set. But we have to take it even further. So just freestyling here, how do you present what I just portrayed? Well, what you can do is make it seem as though the card that's on top is your proposal for their selection. So you control it second to the top, and then you say, boom, I have now found your card. And they will say, no, you haven't. So this is a classic magician messes up kind of trope, but it can be used to great effect because now they're thrown off the rhythm. You have not shown them their card yet. You can place this on bottom to prepare the selection. You can say, oh my gosh, I need to find your card. Okay, let me see what I can do here. So you've done that little bit of a rhythm breaker, and then you're gonna get into position with your back palm. And your explanation before you get into that portion can be that sometimes cards aren't lost, they're just invisible, and how maybe it's somewhere around here and you're gonna try to pluck it out of the air, right? Of course they know that's not what's really happening, but it's a magic trick. You're just trying to have some fun. So then you can act like you're trying to get that sucker out of the air, and that just makes it a little bit more fun. It provides a little bit of a railway for this trick to run on. I think that's the one thing with the tricks that you see in movies like the MCU movies, is that they're probably not gonna ever give a full, beautiful magic trick or magic routine the time in a movie like that. Of course, some movies do, and I mean, some movies like The Prestige are dedicated to fuller tricks and routines that you see. But in the case of this is important to remember that this is one magic moment that can't necessarily stand on its own, other than just like a, whoa, hey, that was cool. So maybe you could use this as an opener, but if not, you're gonna need to think about how you're using this in the context of a routine or a performance, which is why diving further into magic and further into learning. So if you want more cool applications of back palm, check out Daniel Madison. He has a really cool use of it where one card seems to actually transform into another, not so much vanish, which is really cool. There's also a creator on Instagram who has a back palm change, a one-handed change that utilizes back palm. And of course, if you really like this back palm illusion, this is a gateway of sorts into an entire genre, like I said, of what we would call card manipulation. And admittedly, it's not one I'm as well versed in other than this. So you'll see magicians who are able to continue to show open hands and continue to pluck not just one card, but multiple cards, fans of cards. They just keep producing cards, and you know that it's sleight of hand, right? You know that it's sleight of hand, but that makes you even more impressed at the technique, because the difficulty to palm that many cards and continue to produce them in such beautiful ways it's just amazing. That is more of a like stage art. I guess that is more of like a stage art in that situation, but that's why it's really beautiful to watch as an art form and to kind of enjoy to music, as a lot of stage performers have presented it in. And it almost dips into this more abstract, like ballet style, in the sense of, you know, you put a backtrack on, they might have certain costuming involved, and they're just continuing to produce cards and cards and cards. It's super cool. I'm gonna be showing off other movie magic tricks this month, so be sure to check back for that and stay subscribed so you don't miss another video.